Now that one Super Bowl. Well, first of all, not everyone can see because you need to have like sport channel. And another thing is about the food. I was talking about the food, snack food. Like right now in California, it's 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. It depends on what you had for lunch. Suppose you had lunch like 12 at 12 noon or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Right now, 4 o'clock, you don't need to eat anything. So like some people have snack food. I don't really need even snack food right now. If I eat like at 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, I don't need snack food unless I'm drinking some kind of beer or wine or some kind of, alcohol. Because sometimes when you drink alcohol, you want to eat. So I understand snack food for that. And like, if they're showing like bread, many times like sandwiches and all that, me personally, I don't really care about bread with beer. I actually would be more on the side of no bread. Maybe like like sushi rolls or maybe tuna, like fresh tuna. Like in Hawaii, they call it poke, ahi poke, or some kind of food. But I don't really like to have bread sandwich with beer. So like even if they are showing like different sandwiches for Super Bowl, that would be not for me if I like to have beer with it. And if I drink wine, probably not too. I did see some like ribs. I probably would like ribs or one rib, even two ribs. But if I had lunch recently, I don't really need anything unless very little. Sometimes, like in Thailand, they call it chicken skewers. It's like it's a smaller version of shish kebab. So I might like those smaller versions of shish kebabs, very tiny kind of shish kebab. Or I might like few pieces of shish kebab or something like that. Well, like right now they have this game. It's on Fox, I guess, and I have chicken wings and salad. I don't like to eat right now. So it depends on where you live, because in California it is like 4 o'clock, but suppose in New York it's like 7. That would be like kind of dinner time. So for New York, I would think for New York, Super Bowl food would be bigger. But for me in California, I don't need it. I might eat two chicken wings, maybe not even one. Now, what else they had? Like Philly cheesesteak. Again, that's like if you don't drink beer, or maybe okay if you are in New York, like a dinner time. Right now, I don't need Philly cheesesteak. I don't need hamburgers, nothing. But honestly, I live most of my life in America, in the United States, and less overseas. I would say the American football is really for America. It's not for Europe. In Europe, they watch, I would say, soccer, what they call soccer. So to me, this is really kind of American way of doing things. Anyway, like I said before, many things were implemented with illegal papers because I was in United States and somebody was making papers for me overseas. I guess ex-wife and maybe some other people, and even big companies like Bean or Google is using my innovative thinking, my innovation, intellectual property. I came to United States in '91. I didn't see anything. I came to that, and later it was used, and now I'm looking. What are you doing? To me, but my question is, what are you doing? What are you trying to offer to people? That's mine without me. They implemented mine, which was substantially different to AOL 91, and they're offering that. And I'm sure to achieve that, they were using illegal papers. And whoever told to Bean or to Google, they were not my attorney, they were not my agent or talent agent, and they are nobody to me. They are not supposed to talk about it because my ex-wife Olga, she's not a talent, she's not a wife, she's not supposed to make any papers. Even if she knew everything about my intellectual property, it does not mean they can put up any kind of papers and go and try to talk to Microsoft or to Google, to anyone else. So basically, it's illegal implementation, and it had to be stopped. But because somebody didn't ask for ID, somebody didn't ask for physical presence, they just put on the paper, look like somebody is okay, and they implement it. But it's illegal. I'm telling you, it's illegal. Because in order to come to that, I had to go through different analysis, and I came to sort of my models. There is no way anybody can be the same. So they are not supposed to even, like Google, they're not supposed to start that company, and they're not supposed to offer those shares unless I talk. Because that's my way. It's not your way. They never, like right now, you invite them to any innovation center or D school, they cannot talk for it because it's not their innovative thinking of 91 to 92. Like in 91 I've seen OL, but in 92 I came to my own. You cannot use my own like this. They're in illegal use, I'm telling you. Google, Bing, all the search engines in illegal use. Be it front page and how it looks after, and network configuration, everything. So I will never allow you to use for free. You need to stop dreaming and hoping. And I never did allow Germans to talk about my intellectual property. Olga is not a talent for this. So American Justice Department had to disapprove all of them. They're attacking, which is known as acquired by spying. Just because my ex-wife told them, they cannot implement it. And those like Google or Microsoft, they're not supposed to offer to the public. First of all, they're not supposed to have political people telling them, and they implement. They had to talk to talent. That's how it's done for trading. They had to talk to talent. They didn't talk to talent, they talked to political people that my ex-wife found. Who cares? So basically, it's illegal use. They cannot offer that, they cannot act for that, they cannot copyright, they cannot offer for trading. They were using legal papers, and if America doesn't like to do anything legal, then most likely international court, international criminal court, international corruption court, international courts will go after, because they're not supposed to offer not theirs. Basically, they walk like Google, they walk in my shoes. It's not you, do you understand? It's not you. They don't understand. They're stupid. Like Bill Gates have time for that hydrogen yacht. Why don't you find time to figure out who's the talent? And I was writing everywhere, telling everywhere, I don't know, they're trying to, like Microsoft, they're trying to give management to some kind of politicians, which not belong to the Microsoft. Legally, it should be for the trading. Those people should be on company's list. But Microsoft is listening to some kind of people who is repeating my intellectual property, and they implementing. That's illegal use, gray market. I'm telling you, they're not supposed to listen them and implement. And Google is the same. So if Americans don't like to do anything normal, they would be in a position of like submitting fraud. That's what they do. They submit fraud. It's not their stuff. They cannot copyright. Because it should be either from the company, it came from the company, but it didn't come from the company. Because it cannot be the same coming from the company, from Google or from Bing. Just when you type something, it looks similar because that's for me to use. It's not for Microsoft, not for Google, not for anyone else. And the front page, I had a few different variations. It's not for Yandex, it's not for Bing, it's not for Google. They are using illegal papers for that. And any compensation anyone is talking should not go anywhere else because I'm in the United States. So they use my intellectual property with a bunch of illegal papers and they want money for it. That's basically twisting. And I don't know when Americans will have mind to make anything legal. I never did allow, I never will allow. For me to allow, I need to have attorneys talking to me, signing compensation to the right bank, not to some wrong bank, and so forth. So I think besides like watching Super Bowls and eating chicken wings, they need to take time to make it legal. I will never allow Americans to use this for free. Because that's for Americans to take advantage and they're fooling right now the whole planet for already 20 years. For 20 years, they're fooling the whole planet. I'm serious. Realistically, they should be arrested. Many Americans should be arrested. Because if somebody is right now, like this Super Bowl, if somebody is selling fake merchandise outside, he will be arrested. What they're offering my intellectual property illegally acquired with different papers illegal. They're offering. And they're talking about the internet. They don't have internet people. Internet would be in Russian army. They don't have Russian army people. And those Jewish people should stop playing the game, listening to some politicians not belonging to the company. That's illegal. You cannot trade with politicians not being on your company's list. And you are listening, what you are listening illegal use. And if they show any paper, that's not my paper. I came to that, but it's not my paper. They're showing you illegal papers, be it from Olga or from anyone else. Because I'm in the United States, they're showing paper, I'm somewhere there. So anyway, you need to make something normal. That's all I can say about it.
You see, State Farm Stadium.
For international court, to understand where I was, that State Farm is insurance. And I had insurance with them starting like in 92 and up to Google's beginning approximately. State Farm from 92 till 90 whatever 7 8, and then I changed to Geico for insurance, and then I had Geico for some time. So that's the beginning of many companies when they were implementing mine, but some papers say I'm somewhere else. That was fraudulent papers. So you need to investigate better because they're using illegal papers. For legal papers, they have to come here in California, Southern California. They should not go for my signatures to overseas if I'm here. You understand? because sometimes they need signature. They take some kind of documents overseas or they make overseas and somebody sign it for me. They're not supposed to sign for me. That is forgery. And many companies, if they have my signature, that's forgery. I am in Southern California and somebody is signing overseas. It's forgery. So somebody should investigate on it. Honestly, I am not really a big fan of American football. I guess when you are young, you watch something and then later during your life, you watch again and again. So I was watching more soccer. Overseas they call football, but here they call soccer. So I was watching soccer. So I guess for me right now, I would watch soccer. I think for me, watching soccer would be more priority than watching this, because this is not really my kind of sport of young years, I guess. I don't really care about sport, really. Like some people, they watch it every time. I don't really watch. I don't have even a sport channel. Sometimes I can watch, maybe record some. So what else? If they need a dispute, some kind of dispute resolution, I can come for dispute resolution to Europe. But honestly, I need money. For me, it would be if I would get money for something, so I have certain capital, but then they need dispute resolution long time. I'm not sure where. Suppose international court or some other places. They need the dispute. I can go there, but I need money because I'm not gonna work. So if I get at least some part of money for my exploring, wherever I came to, so I can use that money for hotels or whatever time I stay there. And what else? For me, the most strange is how big companies like Microsoft and Google, they have search engine. But it should be a person, should be a talent for us. Because like if you type word, after search it will appear pretty much similar page. Why do you have similar page? Should be a person for it. Legally, you're not supposed to do the same. It should be different. Why do you have the same? Somebody's playing with internet or web. I never did allow to use. I never did allow to use web people or internet people to use mine. It was for me to use. They have to have everything different. If somebody is doing, they cannot use mine and multiply. They have to be substantially different for everything. So basically it should be their own explorer, substantially different to my explorer. That's how it should be legally, but they don't have it. Anyway, right now Super Bowl, I don't really watch. I don't have really sport channel, but I might watch later a little bit. You see, State Farm insurance. Well, that State Farm is insurance. So that State Farm, you see like those three circles on the left? That's what I had. Insurance card, and I got three circles. That's where I was. For the beginning of MSN and whatever browser they were implementing, that's my browser. It is not going to some other place like before, and it does not look the same. It's specifically made for my e-commerce and external system, and at the same time, I mean, later, suppose Google appear, that's what I should have, State Farm. But for the Twitter and for the Facebook, because I got a new car, for some reason for me it was better to have Farmers than State Farm. The rate was better and something else. So I went with Farmers. Farmers doesn't have those three red kind of ovals or circles. It has, I think, combination of red and blue, and letters look different. So that's what I had for social network. And my Farmers Insurance would say I live in Southern California, make payments in Southern California, because I don't have money to go anywhere else and pay insurance for nothing, for not driving. I was paying many times every month, drive every month. Sometimes I might have for half a year, but many times I was choosing like monthly payments. And if you see the address on my insurance, because when you insure your car and address. So that's where I was living. I don't drive somewhere else overseas, and I don't live overseas paying for American address. I did not have that. I was living there and I had a car there at that address. It should be for like social network, it should be Garden Grove, California. That's where I had Nissan and Farmers Insurance. I could change later, but I started with Farmers from what I remember. So you need to go through all those records and signatures and papers, because if somebody came to international court and they're from Germany, that's not my people. I'm in California. If they spoke German, I don't know German. My people had to be speaking English from California or from Minnesota, where I was living. So if they were speaking German, that's my ex-wife's people. They are not entitled to talk about mine. So she told them, but they cannot talk. It's not sure. And those people didn't talk to me because I was here and they're talking there. And they're not supposed to approve or try to approve anything there because I'm here. What the international court had to ask is for my ID, because they didn't have my ID. They could not have my ID. Or they had to verify, because the national court approved for the whole European market illegal use and fraud and forgery. It had to be disapproved, I'm telling you, once again. You cannot approve, how to say, if no talent, you need to ask for talent for a big market. Any thief come to you, you need to approve. So they say, oh, it's Microsoft. It's not Microsoft's brain. Microsoft, whatever they had like operating system, that's from inside. But that search engine and e-commerce, it's not Microsoft project. It came from outside. By some tricks, they copyrighted. They are not supposed to copyright. If it came from outside, you need to find a talent to copyright. You cannot copyright without talent. So what Microsoft they had that unofficial management, probably Olga's people, and they copyrighted mine with illegal papers. Look like I allow. I never did allow. That's fraud. Because for me to allow, I need to allow in the United States, but if you look at their papers, somebody allowed to copyright to Microsoft. Those papers are made overseas where I never was. And the same with Google. So even if they have papers, I did allow, that's illegal papers. It's not my papers. So because it's illegal papers, the international court had to disapprove them because they don't show anything. They came, but whatever you have, that exploring, it's not a project that came from inside. It came from outside. You know what I mean? And I never did allow. So if after search they look the same, who came to that? Microsoft? No. Google? No. And you look before AOL? No. So AOL started to use first with illegal papers, and then anyone else doing that, believing everyone can do. You cannot do. They cannot do, and they cannot trade. Because to trade, you need to trade your product. It's not your product. That's illegal use, illegal copying. You cannot trade illegal copying, illegal use. And they cannot sell rights. If anybody in Europe want to get rights for search engine because they look the same, but somebody should have rights, they cannot offer rights. They cannot sell rights. Microsoft, Google cannot sell rights because they didn't start it. To sell rights, you need to start from scratch, from nothing. But they didn't. They used with a bunch of stupid papers. So, international court basically can restrict, stop all of them, because if they cannot sell rights, they need to show legality. But if they don't show any relationship to a talent, you need to assume illegal use. They cannot show any relationship. Because Microsoft didn't talk to me and Google didn't talk to me, all you have is papers from overseas, from ex-wife. But you need to have relationship with the talent, not an ex-wife. And papers should be done with the talent, not ex-wife. And all they have is ex-wife, but she's not a talent. You know? So they're in illegal use. And then you approve them for international market and for trading. They're not supposed to be for trading. Because they don't have any relationship with the talent. They only have papers from ex-wife, but she's not a talent. And actually she was divorced, not married. So basically it's fraud. Anytime it says wife, it's fraud. I don't know why, but American Justice Department is not verifying. If they say like this, you need to copyright, it should be your thinking. But it's not your thinking. It's your thinking about my thinking. It's not your thinking. Like if you type something in search engine and you have that page, it's not your thinking. Your thinking should be substantially different. It should not look like that. It should not go to external system. You should have own network configuration and everything. And you should not have that browser. That to play around a little bit, it was for me, not for them. And you approve illegal use. American Justice Department is approved illegal use. So if I take right now Microsoft or Google to design place, and I tell them, okay, in 91 AOL didn't have it. How come you all have it? Look very similar. Who is allowing you? Because it should be your product. I know, for me, it's my product because I was different to AOL 91. They didn't have anything like that. Why do you have all this similar? They have no explanation. Somebody is allowing. Where? Overseas. But he is America. So they use illegal papers. All of them, all of those search engines are using illegal papers that somebody is allowing overseas. But based on my State Farm or Farmers Insurance, I'm in America. So all those X5 papers are illegal. You cannot use it. You cannot copyright. And if she's making paper, I allow copyright. It is her making papers to allow copyright, not me. I don't allow to copyright anything. I never did. Even today, I expect more money than Page, Breen, or Balmer has, I expect to have more money than them because it's mine. It's not for them. They should have zero money for it. If I tell them I'm not gonna sell you, that's it. Go. I don't need to sell them anything. Because if I came to this, it's mine. It's my choice. Either I offer to this guy to sell or to that guy to sell. I don't need to sell. I don't have to sell you. I don't have to sell you just because some politician like. I don't really care about politicians. Because when I was thinking in the house, I had no politician as part of my team for innovative thinking. So I don't really care about them. They are nobody. They're not part of it, of my innovative thinking. I was thinking on my own. So they cannot look like they have something to do with it. They have nothing to do with it. I was thinking in Minnesota, and they imagine they have something to do with it in Germany or God knows where. They have nothing to do with it. They cannot talk for this. So my ex-wife, like I said, want to make money, talk about my exploring, but that's not enough. They should not approve. They should demand for your talent. And American Justice Department approve. No need to demand for talent. Then you approve fraud then. That's what they did. They approved fraud. And with that fraud, they're using this fraud and they go to international court. But if international court will ask Bryn Page or Balmer or anyone from Microsoft, how did you start? How come you came to this? The answer would be some politicians told them. From where? Most likely from Germany, Eastern Germany. What they have to do with it? Oh, they talk to XY. Where's the tenant? In America. Why you don't talk to America? Why you talk to politicians in Germany? They probably have no answer. They probably would say, oh, without he's overseas too. Why don't you talk to him overseas or try to talk? They cannot, because I'm not there, because I'm in America. Then they should not use them. But they jump into that and start to use. I'm telling you, they could not copyright this. It's not for Bill Gates, it's not for anyone to use. Because if you came to something substantially different, special exploring that did not exist, you know it's for you to talk. It's not for Bill Gates to talk, it's not for Balmer to talk, it's not for Bryn Page to talk, because you need to be substantially different unless you have a relationship. They don't have a relationship, they use illegal papers. That's their business. It's a normal business, use illegal papers. And keep looking at unofficial political management. Why don't you disclose to investors your political management? Because investors should know. They don't disclose, but they should, because they have management and they have intellectual property which does not belong to them. They should explain what people are investing into. Otherwise, you're investing into some kind of bogus. In reality, it's the people are investing into bogus. In reality, Microsoft cannot use that. And being all that, trying to play with it, it's not for you to use from the beginning. I'm telling you, if you cannot talk at Innovation Center, you cannot use. If Balmer right now, somebody will invite Balmer to D-School, Stanford. How did you start it from scratch? How did you come to this? He has no explanations. Somebody is allowing. I'm telling you, nobody is allowing. The only explanation will be here, State Farm Insurance, farmers, any other insurance, any other records where I was, that's where I was. Any other papers they bring from Eastern Germany or from anywhere else, I am allowing that. That's fraudulent papers, made up papers. Because my ex-wife wanted to get money, She made a lot of tweaks. I'm allowing, I'm there, I'm husband. I'm not a husband, I'm not there, not allowing. And then money should go there, look like I'm there. Money should not go there because I'm not there. I'm here, you had to come here, where I live, California or Minnesota or Arizona, and then make papers, and compensation had to go where I am, not to her. You need to stop listening to all your people. I'm telling you right now, you American companies are making fraudulent statements. Because that search engine is not the intellectual property or innovation of Brin and Page and Balmer and anyone else is using. You cannot use that, I'm telling you, you cannot. I do not allow you to use. I never did allow. And if you don't want to make anything legal and pay for that, I will never allow. You're gonna live always with your fraud. And anytime you sell the companies, you would sell it with your fraudulent beginning. I'm not joking. I can tell you right now, LinkedIn, that was my intellectual property, implemented and sold. And whoever pay for that, if they go back and ask for a person, how did you start from scratch? They have no explanation. Somebody is allowing. Who is allowing? Overseas. No, I'm not overseas, I'm here. So I'm telling you, they're selling lemons. They're offering lemons because illegal papers involved in circulating, the stupid swamps. Okay. Somebody should go, because that's not for trading, that's not for investment, that's not for pension funds, nothing. That you cannot invest, you cannot offer all this. I'm telling you. That's illegal use, and it is violations of intellectual property. If you cannot talk for that, you need to have right relationship, you need to have right attorney. You should not have any fraudulent illegal papers for it. Otherwise, you cannot offer to invest. That's how it is. That's all I can say. Now it's like getting darker. I might watch that recorded version of. Otherwise, I don't have sport channel to watch live. Anyway, I might talk to you. This is halftime. In America, when they play football, they have halftime. Half means like middle of the game, I guess. Halftime. So it's middle of the game, and they have that big concert, different music performers are singing. You don't see that for soccer really, but for American football they have it. In some sense, for me, it's more interesting to see that one than football itself. That is how American football look like. So basically they play, halftime, music, and play. I ate like 4 chicken wings and cucumber and tomato. I don't really like to eat anything. And I didn't drink any alcohol. This is 4th already. They're gonna finish soon. Basically for California, If you will eat, it will be at the end, probably. For me, I would eat at the end. I just tried some of my brandy cocktail. So I mix brandy with water, lemon, certain pomegranate syrup. That's it, I guess. So I make 2 portions of water, lime, pomegranate syrup, and 1 portion of brandy. So I only drank once. Now it's like 35-27. Before those guys, before Eagles were winning, and now other team is winning. It's gonna be ending soon. That's my snack, cucumber. And I have chicken wing. Chicken wing. Good snack. So I'm basically eating my chicken wings, and I have my brandy cocktail. I put this in a cooler because it's cold, so it will stay cold. And I'm sipping a little bit, sipping, drinking, and eating my snack food. Yeah, they have the end for my chicken wings, for my brandy cocktail. It is just the beginning. But I can watch something else, that's okay. Anyway, that is how American Super Bowl for football, American football, looks like. This one is similar to rugby, kind of like rugby, because I lived in Hawaii before, and many people from New Zealand, Australia, Polynesia, Tonga, different islands, Fiji, they do like rugby, but rugby is a bigger ball, and rules kind of a little different, but I would say American football is more like close to rugby. So, but I think Americans have more performance, music, and things like that. Anyway, that's all I can say. Have a good time. Bye.